All right, happy first remote learning day, Algebros. What we're going to talk about today is 8.2, so special cases. The past 3 days we've been talking about polynomials. So we've added them, we've subtracted them, we've multiplied them, and then we've given that multiplication a special name in FOIL. Today we're going to talk about little special cases that kind of go on, and they're just like little tricks and tips here and there. So it should be pretty easy. So one thing I want you to remember is when we square a number, 5 squared means 5 times 5. It means that base number is showing up 2 times. So the same thing is true when we throw in a letter. So it'll be x squared means x times x. If we had the group or the binomial x plus 3 squared, it means that binomial is showing up 2 times. So we're going to have x plus 3 times x plus 3. It's going to show up twice. And then this looks like what we did yesterday in class where we talked about foiling. So we do first, outer, inner, last. How about x minus 3 squared? It's going to be the exact same thing, right? So if I have x minus 3, it's going to show up 2 times, so another x minus 3. And then we can FOIL. So first times first, so x times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9. Then we can go through and combine our like terms. So I have my x squared outside. I have negative 3x and a negative 3x totaling negative 6x. And I bring over my plus 9. Okay, so that's stuff that we did yesterday. So what you're going to be doing is looking for your ruler pattern as we move through here. So a little bit of guide to practice. If we want to find the product of x plus 4 squared, it means x plus 4 is going to show up twice, right? So x plus 4 times an x plus 4. If we FOIL, it's first times first, so x squared. Outer times outer, so plus 4x. Inner times inner, plus 4x. And last times last, so plus 16. When we go through and combine our like terms, we get x squared plus 8x plus 16. Then we're on to the next one. X plus 6 squared is going to be an x plus 6 showing up twice. And again, we can FOIL because it's a binomial times a binomial. So first times first, outer times outer, inner times inner, and last times last. And when we combine our like terms, we get x squared plus 12x plus 36. So if we compare those two, like from start to finish, we want to figure out the pattern. So if I start back on A, I have 4 plus x plus 4 squared. And I ended up with x squared plus 8x plus 16. Pretty much what I did is I got x squared, right? X squared, I just highlighted them. Then I did 4 squared at the end, right? That's easy because I distributed that 2 in. And then on the inside, what did I do? I took that inside term of 4 times x and I just times it by 2 to get 8x because I knew it was going to happen 2 times, right? Being raised to the second power. Is that the same thing that happened on B? X squared happened. 6 squared happened. 6 times x times 2 happened to get that positive 12. So if you wanted to, we could try to do these by shortcuts. We could say, I know I'm going to have x squared out in the front. My middle term is going to be the inside 2 times 2, so I'd get plus 16x. And my last term, whoops, sorry, I should have erased that. And then my last term is going to be 8 squared, so that's 64. One more time, if I did it one more time, I would have x squared as my first term. My middle term comes from multiplying the 2 on the inside together and then doubling it. So I have 9x times 2, which is just going to be 18x. And then our last term is going to be that 9 squared, so plus 81. Do you have to remember the shortcut? Heck, no. Can you just FOIL like normal? Heck, yes. It is up to you. If you are someone who wants to kind of go quicker, perfect. All the more power to you. So if I was thinking of my ruler pattern, when I have a plus b squared, I'm going to take a squared. I'm going to add it to 2ab, and then I'm going to add it to b squared. Since we're dealing with all positives, that's how I know that they're all going to be a plus sign in the middle. So this would be an algebraic expression to help you remember. But again, can you just FOIL it? Yes. Just FOIL it if you don't want to learn this. That's totally fine. Life will go on. I'll give you guys a second to try these two examples. Maybe press pause and then come back. Yeah, press pause and try it. Did you do it? Did you press pause? All right, cool. Hopefully you press pause. And you should get x squared plus 10x plus 25 over here. And you should get x squared plus 4x plus 4 over here. Moving on. Now, we're going to switch our middle operation to a subtraction symbol. So since we've switched it to a subtraction symbol, let's actually do the foiling to see what happens. So we have x minus 4 is showing up twice. And I do first times first, I get x squared. Outer times outer, negative 4x. Inner times inner, negative 4x. Last times last, positive 16. And then I combine, I get x squared minus 8x plus 16. Then I'll do the next one. So I have x minus 6 squared. So I know I'm going to have x minus 6 and an x minus 6. Foiling, so first times first. Outer times outer. Inner times inner. And last times last is a positive again. So when I combine, I get x squared minus 12x plus 36. So if we look at our pattern, again, I have an x squared, right? X squared at the beginning, so I did x squared. At the end, I have a positive 16, so I did negative 4 squared, right? Negative 4 times negative 4 would get me a positive answer. And then in the middle, same thing. X times negative 4 doubled, gets me negative 8x. Same thing happened on the other example. X squared, negative 6 squared, and then all of the inside doubled. So if we wanted to do this the shortcut way, I have x squared. I'm going to, for my middle term, I'm going to take the inside, multiply them together, and then double them. So I have negative 8x times 2 is negative 16x. And then my last term is going to be negative 8 squared. So negative 8 times negative 8 equals a positive 64. Is it saving me that much time? No. But if I see a pattern, is it okay if I take a shortcut for the first time that you're allowed to in algebra? 100%. So again, I'm going to double this middle term, so I get negative 18x. And then lastly, I get negative 9 squared, which is positive 81. So it's not too much different. We just have a negative sign in there now. So this would be a squared minus 2 times a times b plus b squared. So the only key difference is our middle term is going to be negative, but our outer term is going to be positive because we are going to be multiplying two negatives together, but adding two negatives. So again, try to pause the video. Here's two examples for you to try really quick. Go ahead and actually pause it. It's okay if you actually try math at home. For sure, no one can see you trying. So you just try it and it'd be cool, right? It'd be so cool if you did it. Be so cool. Okay. And we should get those two answers. Moving on. Now, the difference is we have one positive binomial and one negative binomial. So when we are doing our FOIL, we're going to see what happens with all of our signs. So x times x gives us x squared. X times 4 gives us a positive 4x. Negative 4 times x gives us a negative 4x. And negative 4 times positive 4 gives us a negative 16. So now when we're combining our like terms in the middle, we have x squared, nothing, like a 0, and a minus 16. So do we need that 0 in there? No way. Let's clean that up a bit. It's almost like we're just skipping the term of just a normal x. So our final answer here is x squared minus 16. Let's try that again on the next one. So we have x times x to get x squared. x times positive 6 to get positive 6x, negative 6 times x to get negative 6x, and a negative 6 times a positive 6 to get negative 36. So again, combining the terms in the middle actually cancels them out. A positive and a negative 6 are going to cancel. So we get x squared minus 36. So when we start out with two binomials that have the same variable, the same constant, but a different middle operation, our middle term is going to cancel out. Wouldn't that make sense? A positive and negative are going to cancel out. So on our last one down here, our next one, we know that we're just going to basically do the first part of FOIL, so x squared, and the last part of FOIL to get positive 8 times negative 8, which is negative 64. It's almost like we don't have to worry about those two middle steps. So if we had FOIL written down, we're only going to do the first and the last step because that O and I are going to cancel. So let's try D. We are going to have, oh, not the eraser. Our first step is x squared, and our last step is going to give us negative 81. Whoop, whoop. So our ruler pattern, when we have the exact same variable, exact same constant, but different operation in the middle, is we are going to do a squared minus b squared. And it's always going to be a minus because we're always going to be timesing a positive by a negative. This actually gets a special name. And I love saying this in front of you guys, but video will have to survive. This is called a difference of squares problem. So a difference of squares problem means difference means subtract, right? Subtraction. And then squares means that we're doing a squared and b squared. So a difference of squares problem gets a special name. It's even more special than all the other ones, which is kind of nice. So when we go forwards and backwards, we're going to call these ones difference of squares. In class, a lot of you guys just go, oh, this is DOS. And then some of you guys who just, level up a little bit, you say, oh, no, it's a DOS problem. Ooh, it's a DOS problem, a DOS problem. Look at us go. DOS, difference of squares, whatever you want to call it. So try these ones. Pause it. And you should get those. Difference of squares, difference of squares. So now if we kind of add all those together, we got one of each type. So I would like you guys to try these before you do your homework. So press pause and then come back to double check. Way too dark. Okay, so you should end up with those answers. So notice how on A and B, I didn't actually want to do the shortcut. I didn't trust myself, and that's okay if you don't trust yourself right away with these shortcuts. The easiest one to remember and the one that's going to save you the most time is this letter C, the difference of squares problem. When you realize that when you're dealing with the exact same terms, but just a different operation in the middle, it's going to be so much faster when you're actually multiplying your polynomials to just do the difference of squares problem. It doesn't take that much time to actually write out A and B and FOIL those. So that's kind of up to you. When in doubt, FOIL it out, okay? When in doubt, FOIL it out. So your homework for today is the next questions on here, okay? Homework is the Google form. Google form. There are 9 questions, and you need to get at least 8 out of 9. Okay, you need to get at least 8 of 9 correct to be considered done for today. 8 out of 9 correct. That's all I'm asking for. Okay, so good luck. Please email your teacher if you have any questions. Good luck, Algebros. I hope that wasn't too tough of a day for you guys, but get ready for the next Friday one. That one will be a little bit more tricky. Have a good long weekend. Don't forget you have homework coming on Monday and then a quiz on Tuesday.